Yeah, I think everyone's mentioned the areas without doubt. We're all hearing them, and I think there's capabilities here to certainly tackle SaaS, software as a service, mobility, mobile being a theme. One area I would say, it was said lightly, but I can't enhance it enough, don't go after price. Don't look to compete against the Chinese on price. It's a bloodbath, and if we look what Huawei and ZTE have done in the systems play, they've annihilated a lot of companies. Not only that, but the Chinese model, unfortunately, is to constantly lower price, competing against each other. And margins go to levels, really, which are, no one's winning. No one's coming with a smile. They're in the gross margins in the 30%. It's an area which I certainly would advise you all to stay away from. And find the areas where you've got some advantage. Find the areas where there's some barriers to entry. And you can create that barrier through IP, through innovation. That would be the area I definitely see the capability to do here, and those are the areas I would focus on.
Raj, do you have
can
any
I add
thoughts
to
on-
it?
Yes, please.
Yeah. You see, we talked about, I would also like to take the view, Ganesh shared the view about the semiconductors, and he clearly outlined where the opportunity is. Andy also spoke about where, what not to do. I would also like, like to see a little futuristic view. In terms of, you see, if you're trying to join the race in something where a race is already being run, you actually are starting at a disadvantage. Somebody is already much ahead in the race, and you join the race, and then you start from point zero. Chances are that you're not going to win very well. So then it becomes a, you become a me too. You see that this guy is doing this, let me also do this. This guy is doing this, let me also do this. So that would be sort of, it could, lead to failures only because we did not think strategically enough. What I would also like to think is that, today there is a very large pool of people who have gained experience, who have got knowledge in the ESDM space particularly, and thanks to the several opportunities that came by which a lot of MNCs have set shop here, and that has really got people trained and working. So one area that I would choose is that use the ESDM capability, but look ahead. There are enough problems. And that's where I'm talking about innovation. When you talk about innovation, innovation takes a certain finite amount of time. And I think it will be very smart on part of it. I may say there'll be all spaces to be filled, but I think it will be also a smart thing for some people to fill that space where you're starting at ground zero along with the rest of the world. There are a lot very important problems which are, I mean, there are very large industries and the problems are common across the world. If you talk about, if you look, say 4 years or 5 years hence from now, every country in the world is looking for solutions for more efficient healthcare, more efficient education delivery, more important, more defense or space. You talk about nanotechnology. All these are problems that every country in the world which aspires to be playing in the space of leadership, be it United States has a very clear articulated vision that they would like to see that they are keeping ahead, let others not catch up with us because they are the established leaders. You talk about Israel. Israel has done extremely well. You talk about China is trying to do this. They're trying to do it in a different way. So my point is that identify problems which are at a global scale unsolved problems, and use your ESDM expertise to really leapfrog, because now we're looking at system and there are industry specific problems. So for example, what I'm currently doing is something that my experience in the field of semiconductors, in the field of video, or in the field of software, I'm taking that knowledge to solve, and I say here's a problem in entertainment and media industry which is large, very large, and there are certain problems to be solved. So now these are problems which nobody has solved in history so far, and there is a scope to solve this problem. These are specific problems which the industry is struggling today with. So like that, I see there are so many industries, there are so many problems of national priority which are unsolved. So entrepreneurs, should take a leap into creating innovation where you can actually be at par with the world, solve the problem that you for India, but at the same time, having solved that problem, you also become a world leader in solving that same problem in other parts of the world. That way, we as a country take a space which is our equitable space in terms of today we're talking this whole thing is unbalanced. Everything that we consume, but everything that you want to get is coming from outside. Now, by doing this, by joining the race there, we would also be a player where there are certain key technologies, certain key solutions which are actually being delivered from here and spreading globally. So that's a space which is a little far off. So, but that again is worth doing. And I would just add here, it's kind of there are two approaches a gentleman, somebody wanting to do farming can take. One is that he can grow vegetables, which has a cycle of 3 months, 4 months, and you have productive crop. You can take a cash crop, which will probably grow in 6 months, and you can also choose to do orchards, okay, which will take a good 4 or 5 years. But then once you arrive, you have arrived. Okay, so that is a space which I think we need to take a strategic leap and get onto that space. All spaces are required, but that is a space which cannot be left unfulfilled. Yeah.
So Raj, just going on and continuing on what you just said, in terms of the ESDN space is highly capital intensive. How important is the government and government subsidies? Dr. Ajay Kumar this afternoon or this morning gave a framework of the subsidies that the government has put into place all the way from design companies to manufacturing companies. As an entrepreneur, how involved do you really want the government to get in? And would you leverage the government subsidies to get into, especially from the ESDN context, in the ESDN space?
Oh, very much. I think this connects very well with what I just spoke.
Yeah.
That if you want to grow an orchard, that growing an orchard, the plus side of it is once you have grown it, then you can enjoy the fruit for a very long time with little work, right? But at the same time, the negative downside of it is you don't earn a single penny. If it's an orchard of mangoes, you don't earn a single penny for 5 years. Well, so now, given this is where a strategic design at a country level needs to come from government. And it's only government which can actually draw that blueprint and say that, take a leap and say, put a stake on the ground that we want to be, and which is what we are saying, that taking India to ESDM leadership. There are several other articulations we are saying that we want to be very strong in innovation, we want to be, but doing that, again, it cannot be just spoken, there has to be things done about it. And that's where government can play, and only government can play an enabling role. Strategic thought has so far not happened in India, where we are thinking about how to enable these ventures where there is no money. Very often the venture capital is not supposed to fund. They don't fund. Okay, they don't fund something which is very early stage, has no signs of revenue. So that's where a lot of policy framework that needs to come from the government. That these are the problems of national, these are key national priorities which need to be solved. And going from there, they would need to kind of identify that, here, these are problems, and these are problems which only new, young, innovative enterprises can solve. So rather than going the way of, so far the thinking has been that I have this problem, so let me go and talk to this mega company which is already doing this. But that's a wrong choice, because really innovative problems, really difficult, tough problems are not solved by very large companies. The large companies do things, this means no disrespect. It's just that it's human tendency. Now, I may say, if I've grown nearly 6 feet tall, I cannot grow more than 6 feet. But a very small young baby who's less than a feet in height will grow to 6 feet at some point of time. So, given this, these are problems. As a government should take a choice and say that, create enough competition, identify these are the companies, new young companies which will solve these problems, in the interest of the nation, and thereby create a funding mechanism, which has not existed. I would say there is hardly any angel venture, angel investment, framework, which every other country has done. Every other country rewards angels for making that investment into a startup which is high on innovation. So I may say every state in the United States does that, and they have a competition amongst them that I'll give you so much tax credit, I'll give you so much tax credit. Singapore goes down to the extent of saying that you invest in a startup, I'll give you 50% tax credit, and that can be hugely attractive. So in India we have no such system. I think but not that the government is not thinking. I have evidence to think about it. That there is a think tank which is already put in place, which has articulated things and say that we have to solve angel investment problem. Then they have to create even the venture investment. If it's a long-term problem, industry would not want to invest in a problem where the returns are going to come much later. So there again, there has to be a fund of funds approach, which every country does that, so that they are helping out even the venture capital ecosystem. They need to be able to create financing support, even in terms of your debt, debt funding, which this doesn't happen today. So today, to think about entrepreneurship with a strong innovation element, it's actually a no-go unless government put that infrastructure and enabling policy in place, got a think tank which is really powerful enough, which can go across all wings of the government and say, this is a national priority. If we today say that this is a national priority for us, that we need to close this trade deficit gap, then it has to be hand in hand a national priority that we must put a mechanism in place which cultivates entrepreneurship and innovation in the interest of doing what we want to do. So government has is the body which will trigger it. If government does not act, it won't happen.